Hello, hello. Good evening, night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Hello and welcome to the fifth, no, sixth, no, where are we? I think it's the sixth round of the BCSS Season 3 Championship. My name is Vindict, Jesse, however you want to call me. I am hosting the race today. And if you are tracking this championship, you might be wondering where fifth race. Well, unfortunately, last week, actually 2 weeks ago, is when the Spa race was. It did happen, but I was not around to broadcast it. We unfortunately couldn't see find a replacement in time. So unfortunately, we had to do it without a stream. I'm still planning on something to at least summarize what that race was like. And that will be coming in the future on the YouTube channel. Hopefully I get that out soon. I do have to find the time to do it, I think. Well, hopefully soon I can make it. I myself, before I wasn't around, was a very nice holiday that I was having in the beautiful country of the Philippines. A very nice place there. And yeah, just relaxing. Burning up in the hot sun. But looks like I don't have to worry about that today because it is very, very dark and very cloudy around the Hungaroring where we are driving today as Pavel Deminiak practices his pit entry to optimize it for the actual race. Harry Spears, of course, I believe he won the last race in Spa. Spoilers for the summary. But yeah, today he will probably be looking to repeat that. I'm not sure if he dropped to the back again last time around at Spa and won us from there. But that's very possible to do. Just drop back and win the race anyway. It will be more difficult for him to pull that off at Hungaroring. If you follow Formula 1 closely, this tends to be one of the most processional races that we tend to see. It's just a very twisty and turny track. The track isn't very wide. There basically is one opportunity to overtake if you are the default level of braveness. If you are more brave, of course, you can maybe find some other opportunities elsewhere on the track, but normally just on the end of the start-finish straight, where you would normally attempt a dive or a move otherwise. I see Chalkan slowing down. Some people doing practice. I think everybody is very simply just going around the track, getting a good feel for the car before we go into qualifying. Some people will be practicing their pit entry, of course, very advisable. That's what Pavel did. If you get it wrong in the race, that will be a drive-through at best. Stop-go if you're unlucky. So it's very important to get it right. Don't want to be caught out. So I don't know the results from last race. I will try to look them up because I do believe they were posted somewhere. I believe we have a page on the sim grid. And that is also where the latest records are. See if we can find that. BSKIT Season 3. I'll go to the previous race. Try to inform you on the last results. I think that is most important. Go for the pro result first of the race, please, not quali. Apparently, Harry Spears won that one, as we already knew. Second was Pavel, though. Very good job from him. Very close, apparently, so I will be looking at that. Apparently, it was a battle until the end. The gap is very small, but we'll have a look at that in the summary. Jordan Burroughs, who I have not personally seen driving, but, you know, he only turns up when I don't. was P3, Andre Katz P4, and Diego was 5th. Is in pro class. A couple of DNFs, actually 2 DNSs. So 2 people joined quali but did not start the race. It's unfortunate. Here we end the session and oh, we go into qualifying. Hello! Now there's always a chance of this. There is rain on the track. It is raining. The track is considered wet and we got, I believe it is light rain or medium rain. It's one of the two. It's going to decrease still to light rain, I believe, later on. I think it's what the three little lines under the clouds are. See Ryan in the chat. Ryan, why are you not on track? You nerd. It's okay. I can say that. It's not insulting. We see somebody already spinning in the pits, putting a lot of power on, and finding out that the car does not enjoy that. Very powerful Mercedes there, but second try is all fine. Let's have a look then. Who is on track? We've got a 489 car leading the pack. Let me try to find it. Oh, that is Pavel, of course. Favorite driver to be on board with for me. A very competent driver. Very clean as well. Sort of complete package, you could say, as a driver. And today we'll be trying to show that off in difficult conditions. You might be thinking, oh wow, he's really bad, like cutting corners everywhere, missing every apex. That's just how adapting to new conditions is. It's difficult. The track is going to be a little bit unpredictable, especially because it's Hungaroring. You are in the corners so often. The car you are driving is quite powerful, so you have to be careful with it. Just the way it works with racing. Ryan falsely claiming he is not a nerd in chat. Of course, lying will get you scolded. Be careful with that, son. Now we got Pavel rounding around the last few corners. We'll go on his at a bonnet. I don't know what's happening with the quality there, but we'll quickly ignore that. And we will very simply watch him do a lap around the Hungaroring. He starts. It's a long start-finish straight. A long straight easily on the track. Heavy braking for turn 1, which is practically a hairpin. Pavel not quite used to conditions yet. Hasn't found the braking point yet. But here we go. Small little kink into the second real turn. Got a hairpin again. It's quite slow. You want to line yourself up on the left, especially in the rain, I believe. Try to make this corner as flat as you can. A bit of a straightie, and to a blind apex you try to turn. Very, very nice line there. Wide on the exit, or like taking as much curb as you can on the exit. Trying to find an apex here. It's not easily done in these conditions. So it's a bit of a scruffy lap maybe for now, but that's just to be expected. Tight chicane here. Very hard to be close to your opponent from this moment on, because that chicane is just a bit of a race killer in terms of racing, like wheel-to-wheel racing. And then you've got the S's section here. Pavel making quick work of them. Bit twitchy into this corner on entry. A little bit of instability there, but he catches it nicely. Heavy braking for this corner. Very tight, over 90-degree corner. Line to the right here for the first of 2 final hairpins. On the right here is the pit entry. Pavel will not be taking that. I think he's satisfied with his banker lap as it is. Oh, the faster lap times will probably come in later as the track does start to dry up a little bit. It's already on damp conditions now of the final hairpin. Pavel says the first time it's a 153.7. We'll see those times vastly improve over time. I can guarantee you that. Got Diego also coming in to settle lap time. And Diego, of course, finishing 5th last time around in the pro class. his work cut out for him. Try and fight Pavel and, of course, Harry Spears, who is extremely good. But Diego, here we go. P1 for now, a 152.6. Track already getting better, and in 10 minutes we are expecting the rain to ease off even more. So I think, like, for now during qualifying, if you want to, like, grab a couple of snacks, this is actually the time, because none of these times are going to survive the next few minutes. Every driver that has already set a time is currently up on that time. Pavel Dominiak by a full second, and that's only halfway through the track. Still got some of Sector 2 to go. Spawn, of course, where he had that slide on entry, much cleaner this time. Is now... He's gaining a lot of time on this straight as well. So we see Pavel massively gaining. Hibana made a bit of a mistake through the hairpin in Sector 2. Standing still there. What's going on? Might be a hardware failure, so hopefully that's nothing too serious. Hopefully he can still join the race. Get it fixed quickly. Pavel Dominiak, though, massive improvement coming in. The lap is still legal. I think he's got much better control over the car now. And there you go. Provisional pole for Pavel Dominiak. Say 151.782. And he's immediately beaten by the Porsche, the PAF-led Porsche of Joris Petersveen. 151.3 is currently the benchmark. So, those times are ever improving. We've got Bogdan, I believe, in chat as well. Also not driving today, I think. He is a Fraser Dickey simp today. So we'll be cheering him on. Norbert Tamas has meanwhile improved. Not quite pole position. Less than a 10th off the time of Joris. But nevertheless, a pretty good time and definitely beatable. Pavel is not on a valid lap time. Let's see who is. Ooh, we've got a couple of people here. Sammy Cow, actually. Coming around the final corner. Set up for a big improvement. And I do mean big, like a full second. Let's see where that lands him. P9 for now. And Niels Janssen, same story. Except he has 2 hairpins to go. So a little bit more time to gain time. Try to make sense of that one. But he is also very far away from everyone else. So it will take a little bit more for him to really gain too many positions. Still, though, he is set to improve by a second. That will put him within 4 seconds of the leader. Fraser Dickey immediately beating him, right behind him. Chasing Niels down, and I believe that is a 155.0 from Fraser. Bogdan will be satisfied with that in chat. Now let's see what else we got. Improvements. We do have improvements. Vojta Pavlicek is actually currently improving by, again, over a second. Times are racing down. They are decreasing at a rapid pace. All these drivers, well, the track conditions are getting better. These drivers are getting more comfortable with their car in these changeable conditions. So we'll see these times tumble slowly but surely. Well, I say surely, slowly, rapidly, quite rapidly. Pavel Dominiak also on a lap currently. He's behind Vojta, so we'll wait for Vojta to finish his lap, because it's going to be a really big improvement. And that's not an overstatement. You will see what I mean once he crosses the line. Currently 2 seconds back, Vojta is in 9th place. Where does he end up? I'm saying P3. Vojta Pavlicek within 2/10 of the leader. And while Pavel is behind, he is currently 7/10 up. These times do not stand for very long, because the track conditions are getting better. Ooh, but that is a big slide and wide, and that lap time is invalidated. He will be disappointed with that, but Pavel understands this is not going to be the final time anyway, because the track will still continue to improve as these cars circulate and drive the track, and also as the rain continues to decrease. 10 minutes left in this qualifying, but the first 5 probably won't matter. It's going to be there at the end to set a good lap time. Charlie Kent coming around the final corner to set an improvement. He's 6 tenths down now, 2 tenths down now. It's P4 for Charlie. Still behind Vojta, who, despite being in silver class, set an excellent lap time. Maybe these rainy conditions suit the man. Doing a good job. Yeah, Ryan complaining about Vojta being so high up, calling the Honda OP, but also Deck. Now, Deck is normally not too flashy in the qualifying performances, but here he is. PA is ahead of most of the silver pack. And ahead of Diego, who is going to have to step up his game. The good news is for him, he's doing that. 5 tenths up now on his fastest time. And still a little bit to go. So, of course, that means 2 things. One, there's more time for you to gain time. There's more track to improve on. But, of course, there's also as much risk that you lose that lap time due to a small mistake somewhere. But for now, he is keeping it clean. First hairpin done at the end of the lap, and second hairpin entering now. Maybe missing the apex a little bit, but of course he knows better than me, so I'm not gonna scold him too much for that. But big improvement for Diego. P5 it is, only 4 tenths behind the leader now, but there's still a lot of time to find, as Pavel is proving, being 4 tenths behind the leader, but up by over a second on his fastest lap. And it might stand a bit short, but I think this is going to be provisional pole here. Clean around the final hairpin. No mistakes here. Not wide. Lap is legal. And there you go. Pavel goes to pole position. But watch out, because Joris is right behind him. He's also on an improvement. Take as much track as you can. And up to P1 again he is. A 150.6 is the benchmark now. These times keep on tumbling, and they will continue doing so. The rain is now said to be light rain. The track is still damp, but it is drying up continuously. Vojta Pavlicek, despite being a silver car and already so high up, is still improving, and it's a big improvement coming in. We're looking at around 5 tenths if he nails the last few corners. Just 2 hairpins away for him. And then maybe there's some time to gain there if his last lap wasn't quite perfect there. And it does appear to be that way. This hairpin, he gains a lot of time. We'll maybe lose it a little bit on the exit. The last hairpin is all important because there is a decent run to the line. Get a good exit there. Doesn't take the curb. Maybe more secure that way. And it is an improvement. 2 tenths behind the leader now. Can be very satisfied with that. And a decent gap between him and Philip Desire, who I do want to give a shout out. Because despite... He qualified in Pro Class in our qualifying sessions, and in the races it's been a bit of a struggle for him, because granted he's not as consistent as some of the stronger Pro Class drivers that we have, the likes of Andre and Joris, Pavel, and of course Harry, Diego. Like, those are very strong, consistent drivers. Oh, and there you see a bit too much curb, but keeps the car out of the wall. Oh, he's got literally no grip on the grass, but he keeps the car in one piece. But it's going to reset the pit lane anyway, it's not like it matters. But it's good car control. And definitely worth something. Charlie Kent comes across the line, improves the P4 and steals the position from Philip, who I was just praising. Philip, not as consistent as most of the guys, but today he is showing up, and changeable conditions doing him favors. Harry Spears also trying to qualify here. Maybe not quite the times he was hoping for. Through the last 2 hairpins then. He's got a second up on his previous lap. And maybe there's more to find in the last hairpin. But it's not going to be enough for pole position as it stands. Oh, but there is still time to find. Let's see, is it enough? It's only P2. I say only P2. It is P2. That's a big improvement. Don't want to take that away from him. But it is only P2. But... very, very nice lap from him. Norbert Tamas also on the improvement bench. On that grind, yo. That Sim Racer Sigma grind set showing. I'm not gonna wash my mouth with soap. I have some regrets though. But Norbert Thomas on a big improvement. Is it going to be enough for pole position? We'll have to see. The last hairpin, maybe there's some time to gain there. But as it stands, not going to be enough. 2/10 behind Jorgis. So, still some time to find for him. And as the track is still drying up, the rain has only gotten better and better. And the cars continue circulating. Maybe there's still time to find. You have Sammy Cal, who is quite far back on the grid and in class, but set up for a big improvement here. The gap is 3.19 seconds before improvement, but only one hairpin to go. We'll see where this lap puts him. It's a very strong one from the Finnish driver. And as he comes across the finish line, pun completely intended, he goes P9. Very, very strong showing from Sammy as we know him. Showing up when it matters. Still second in class, but ahead of most of the pack. That's important. Now we do have Yannick Breda, who hasn't set a lap time yet. He was struggling with these conditions, not quite happy maybe with how the Porsche handles here. Being called out, I don't know why. But yeah, Yannick hasn't quite set a lap time yet. Maybe not quite happy with the way the car handles right now. A little bit more to go. The track is still drying up. Doesn't matter that he hasn't had a lap time yet, because these laps are going to matter the most. The last hairpin yet to go. And across the line, Yannick goes. It is P14. That is a strong showing. Hadn't set a lap time yet, but of course it's not about lap count in qualifying. It's just about the fastest one. And there you have it. P14 for Yannick. Very impressive. Very well done. You got Diego also on a bit of an improvement, but it is early in the lap, so apparently he had a lot to gain on the start-finish straight. We'll keep an eye on him. There is the nicely blue liveried car. Not quite wide out of that corner, but taking as much track as he can. Nicely over that blind apex. Take as much track as he can. He's got good control over the car, and as we do see the track dry up a little bit, we do see that these times still improve. In fact, everybody in the top 5 is currently setting a lap that is faster than the previous fastest lap. So this qualifying session is simply not over until, well, it is over. And I believe for most drivers that will mean 2 more laps from this point forwards. Diego coming across the line separating Sector 2 and Sector 3. And he is on a big improvement. Keep an eye on him. He's currently P8 with 6/10 behind, and his improvement is set to be bigger than that. So do we see Diego on provisional pole? And can he maintain it? Can he improve enough in the last few corners to really cement himself into that pole position that I'm sure he would love to have. Anyone would love to have for sure. Nice exit from him. Where does it put him though this time? It's P2. It's not enough. I think maybe Joris actually improved before him. And as a result, Diego, not on pole, but on P2. And in fact, Norbert Thomas also improved. Is now P2. Harry Spears is going to come across the line as well. And we have Pavel behind that. So we will see a bunch of important improvements. Ooh, but Pavel, I think, has made a mistake. Pavel has indeed made a mistake. We didn't quite get to see it. Harry Spears, though, comes across the line. 55 seconds still to go, so he can do another one. It's an improvement, but only to 3rd place. The top 5, or top 4 are between, within 2/10 of each other. It's about. And Pavel, well, this is an improvement. It's not big enough, and he's gonna have to go again. He gets only one more opportunity. Most drivers will not get 2 more opportunities. Oh, as Norbert Thomas makes a mistake. And he disappeared into the pits. unfortunately for him, qualifying is over. Will not be able to improve his time, which might be crucial, as Andre Katz bottles it at the most important moment of the qualifying session. These last laps are going to be the fastest, and unfortunately no improvement for him. He's going to have to settle for P10 or worse, very likely worse. But yeah, we'll see where he ends up. Charlie Kent also bottles it this lap. Every driver pushing the car to the max. So do keep our eye on Harry Spears, who is trying to chase down Joris. And Joris comes across the line. 149.9 is going to be the benchmark. And that is a really strong lap time. I'm not sure how he can beat that. Harry is improving, though. He's still got a lot of track to go. A lot of places to find time on this track. So maybe he can manage it, but it's going to be difficult. Nobody else is really in contention for pole position. We do see Daniel Nyakas, well, his lap time is invalidated. It would be faster, but it's not legal. I do believe we just saw Deck improve his time and position by 1. Let's keep an eye on Harry then. Harry has unfortunately, while I was rambling on, has unfortunately bottled it. Is no longer in improvement at all. Not going to be for position anyway, so this will be the qualifying result as it stands. Well, as it's going to stand. I believe the only drivers, well, Harry doesn't even improve, unfortunately, and the only other drivers driving, well, we've got Dan Brown actually in the back, but he's 2 seconds slower than his fastest, and we do have Pavel just came across the line. I missed it, but it did improve. 2 places. There you go. Pavel in P3 then, Norbert Thomas in P2, and Joris Peterswijn takes pole position for the Hungaroring race. They quickly do a little bit of administration to make things easier in the future for myself. So we quickly wait for the race session to be started. It is on a timer, so we cannot speed that up. I've done my administrative duties. Just so that doing the results after the fact is a lot easier. Going to be a lot easier. Yeah, congratulations to Joris then, taking pole position. I don't think it's his first time in the season. I believe... Did he do the same in Brands? I'm not quite sure. I could quickly have a look, of course. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Brands Hatch, let's see. I believe it was him on pole position there as well. So he's not unfamiliar with this position. But still, it's not something you ever can take for granted. So he's very happy with that. Worked hard for it. Set a very, very nice time in that Porsche. A beautiful Porsche to have at the front of the grid. Still a long race to go. We will race for 90 minutes total. We'll start out with a formation lap. It will be a rolling start at the end of it. The lights will go green when the cars are allowed to heat. But until then, we have time to grab snacks, to grab a drink, to visit the restroom if you need to. Use of restroom during the race is, of course, not allowed. We'll send the Twitch police after you. Alright, so grid rundown, as I like to do, because I don't like my throat. It's actually hurting today, but, you know, YOLO. Joris Peterswijn is on pole position, followed by Norbert Tamas. Pavel Dominiak, Harry Spears, and Diego Paul Fimbres Casas is in P5, rounding up the top 5. Wojtek Pavlicek, the first silver driver that we are seeing on the grid. P6, very impressive from him. Philip Drzajic in P7. Charlie Kent following him. And then we got Hibana Banana, silver class driver in P9. And Andrei is in P10. We've got a couple of silver class drivers, Matteo Schmidt and Sami Kahl in 11th and 12th. And then we have Yannick, an imposter AM driver in P13. Daniel Nyakas and Declan Bowler, both silver class drivers. And they are in P14 and 15. Now we've got Robert Weber, pro class driver, but unfortunately didn't quite make it happen in his Mercedes car in qualifying. Fraser Dickey in P17. And David Brow is in P18. We've got Niels Janssen in P19. And Johannes Kauner rounds off the grid. Of course, if you are in chat, welcome. We are happy to have you here. I do see actually some drivers watching. And I will be sure to be as unkind to them as I possibly can, without being fired from my job. Because of course I can't insult Deck too much. He is listening, and he manages the league. If he says I'm out, I'm out. You know, it would help if he wasn't such a nerd. That's of course a joke. It's a default BSKIT greeting. If you are a nerd, quite frankly, you are part of the club, and part of some of the coolest guys I have, because the bar is just that low. This is the kind of things I start talking about when I have 5 minutes to do nothing. I get that the drivers will have a pee break in this time. That's what it is for. But I've, I don't have to. I prepared. Can't fire me, Faffy. Again, Faffy, why are you driving? You should be driving. I'm missing a Michael Favier in P21. Where is it? We'll have my head for that one. So, 30 seconds to go. You can finally start driving in a short moment. We will keep an eye on the pole sitter for the formation lap. So we have a good overview of when we are going to start the race. Yeah, Vroonlink has subscribed again, 4th month, and tells someone to go study. I mean, I'll gladly study math, but I need to be commentating, unfortunately. So, we'll just leave the maths on the back burner for now. It's unfortunate, but you know, it's just the way it is. Joris leads off the pack, and it is not a huge pack today. We do have 20 drivers. Not quite the numbers we were showing before, but regardless, that's actually kind of a good thing. This track is quite small, and it's too dangerous if you put 30 people on it. But these drivers are quite clean. They know what they're doing, so I think we won't see any bowling in turn 1. So yours just, I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe you can hear it if you're on the bonnet. Yeah, you can hear him accelerate and immediately slam the brakes. That is purely that the driver gets some temperature in their brakes. If you think about the wheel, or maybe we'll get a nice side view in a moment. You get the outer wheel and then the inner bit. And then behind that is the brake pad. That brake pad will get very, very hot. I believe in Formula 1 it's well over 600 degrees Celsius. Is 6 times hotter than water is relative to the melting point of water, of ice, I'd say. So it gets very hot. And that temperature diffuses, and part of that goes into the tires, the rubber of the tires, and the internal temperature will increase. As a result, the pressure will increase because the gas expands when it's hot. And that is simply to get the tires into the right pressure window, or at least as close as it possibly can be. So we are lining up in double file. They've been driving in single file for most of the lap, but now they've got the signal. These form up in a neat little line, 2 by 2. Or the one driver is still slightly ahead in that 2 by 2 formation. The Chelsea drivers kind of accelerate and decelerate just to get as much temperature in the brakes as they can, and get the temperatures in the tires as high as they can be. Yours leads the pack then. Once everybody is on the straight and he crosses the line, we will go green.
Green light, show them where you go.
There we go, green light, and it's a decent start for both of the top two. There's not much in between them. Kind of zoom out a little bit. Oh, but it's almost 4 wide. We do see Harry looking around the outside there, but Norbert Tamas has a very, very good run. Goes on the inside for the next corner, and Harry Spears also very close. Maybe looking on the inside? No, that's not going to happen. But impressively, Pavel Dominiak maybe being taken aback by the start, but he's still there fighting Harry. And unfortunately, Harry simply has the better run out of that corner. Joris loses the lead to Norbert Tamas, as we can see from the front. We'll see that Philip unfortunately lost the position to Charlie, as Joris makes a beautiful dive to the inside, catches Norbert off guard a little bit, had to correct. Maybe he missed his braking zone anyway, but there you go. Joris making a very brilliant move in a position where you would normally not expect it. But there you go, back to the lead of the race, and that Porsche, very good through corners. Should be happy to run away if he gets the chance, if he gets that car under control, if he gets the tires in the right pressure window. Could be an easy race for Joris. I say reluctantly, because we do see Norbert again catching up a little bit in that wake of the car. But Joris defending it very nicely. We do see behind that Pavel is looking at Harry Spears, maybe trying to get past, but nothing there yet. And Diego is following close behind. And then we've got Vojta, leader of silver class, who makes a bit of a mistake, and that actually invites Charlie Kent to the inside. Yeah, Charlie Kent makes it happen. There you go. Charlie moves up to P6 overall, and Vojta is demoted to P7. Norbert Tamas around the outside then of Joris. He's a little bit ahead on track, but he's got a much worse line. Harry looks on the inside, not close enough to benefit from it. Norbert does have a good exit, granted. On the inside then, ooh, it's just covered up by Joris, and there's nothing Norbert can do there. Pack does stay close together, as Joris has to compromise his line a little bit. You can't drive faster than the car ahead of you unless you're going to overtake. If that's not possible, you are simply speed limited. Everybody behind you might be as well. Harry looking closer to Norbert than Norbert is to Joris. Looks around the outside, but there's nothing there. Joris gets an opportunity to get away, as Harry does put pressure on Norbert, but Norbert just has a much better line through there. Shoddy exit, a bit of a slide there, but regardless, not enough for Harry to benefit, and not enough to lose touch with Joris ahead of him. The very close battle between these four. Diego behind, not too far behind actually. He's well within reach to strike if something does happen with these people. I think he's just happy staying there, as these are going to battle for a little bit longer. Joris making his car as wide as it can be, not leaving any space on the inside, but sorry, it's Joris and Norbert can't really find a place to go by. But maybe here then, the Porsche is still a very weak car on the straight, but Joris covers the inside. Norbert's forced to go for the outside. Joris leaves him a lot of space though. Covers the inside. Ooh, but they do touch. Norbert doesn't quite get the line right, and Harry is right there to pounce. Doesn't quite get the power down right, and they emerge in the same order. Ooh, and on the inside there, Norbert having a look, and there's just enough space there. Joris leaving him enough space, but he's still next to him. On the inside for the next corner, they are still side by side, but Norbert has to compromise his exit a little bit too much, and now Harry and Pavel both go by. Harry on the inside of Joris. Will he take the lead from here? Ooh, leaves enough space for Joris, but ooh, and Norbert Thomas makes a mistake and goes into the wall, loses the position to Diego as well. So do see Voita has retaken the position since from Charlie, and Harry Spears in the lead of the race, followed by excuse me, so much happens, followed by Joris, then Pavel, then Diego, and behind we got Norbert, who might have damage on his car after the tap with the wall. And Harry, as we know, is a very, very fast driver. We do have Fraser having a drive-through, I think, for track limits already. Very unfortunate for him, and Bogdan will be, I'm not sure if it's disappointed or sad. He'll have to let us know in chat. We'll relay to him in case he's watching. Got Pavel making a move on the inside of Joris. Joris being caught out there. Very, very nice move from Pavel. Moves up to P2 and able to possibly keep in touch with Harry if he can really put that pedal down. Because Harry will race very, very hard. And definitely not easy to keep up with. But if somebody can do it, it's definitely Pavel. The Polish legend of BSKIT. Diego also catching up. Ooh, Joris makes a big mistake late on the brakes and overshoots the corner, almost hitting Pavel there. And now Diego is right in it. Joris having a bit of a disaster of a start. And it's not getting better for now. But Diego also has to watch out. Norbert behind him on the inside now. Trying to switch here, but Diego does defend it for now. But Norbert this time doesn't compromise his exit as much. Crucially, he carries more speed. He's on the inside for this corner, and this is difficult to be side by side in. Diego makes it stick around the outside, and Norbert, unfortunately, is not able to... Oh, but there comes Charlie out of nowhere, and he's suddenly challenging to overtake Norbert. I believe he overtook Voita there as well, as Fraser Dickey speeds into the pit lane. Has to serve a stop and go 30 later. I'm so sorry, Bogdan. That's just the way it is, and gonna be dead last after that. Norbert does defend from Charlie for now, but Charlie is right there looking for another position. He smells blood and he's ready to bite if a mistake is made by Norbert. Charlie up to P6 now. Very decent race from him, nothing too crazy, just has to be there in the moment, and that's what he's doing. Thomas also, let's not forget, challenging position of Diego. Diego lost 2 seconds to Joris somewhere, and now has to contend with Norbert behind him. With following in the wake of Diego. Diego trying to break it, but Norbert decides to stay in it, get as much speed as he can, but it's not going to be enough for an overtake right now. I think right now Diego is actually quite safe. Look a little bit down. We got a little battle here between Andre Katz and Declan Bole. Andre, I think he's moved up. I think he's overtaken Dec. I think Dec does understand that Andre is very fast. And maybe didn't fight it too much, but Andre does have a lot of time to make up to the front pack. Ibana Banana is 5 seconds ahead, and that is the back of this little train in which we have Charlie Kent, we've got Norbert there, we've got Diego there. Train of 5 cars. It is exciting racing. Speaking of exciting racing, here we have Yannick Breda, P12, leader of AM class by a lot. I think he's in the lead of the championship as well. I'm not quite sure. Makes sense. Not sure what he did last race. I'll quickly have a look if I'm giving the chance. We try to keep an eye on what happened. No, he did not win last race. In fact, he finished 4th. So maybe not the best outing for him there. But today, if he stays exactly where he is, I think we'll be happy with the result. Charlie can then Norbert, Tamas, and Diego nose to tail those three. Don't leave each other a lot of space. One mistake from one of these guys will be enough to start a battle right there. A declaration of war is made by a single flinch here. Unless it's Charlie, in which case he just drops back and looks a bit silly. But here we go. Diego, small mistake there. You know, a little bit of a wide line. Norbert needs no second invitation to have a look. Right outside for the next quarter is not going to happen. Ooh, is it though? Ooh, late on the brakes. Tried to move himself next to it. Next to Diego. Diego compromised on exit maybe a little bit, but it's fine. And Norbert has to contend with that curb. And that destabilizes his car just enough to not be able to challenge Diego, but not too much that Charlie can get into the battle. The careful balance between these three, but the positions are retained. And we have Daniel Nakas. Oh, he's spinning out as we speak. Oh, he must have made a mistake. I think he hit the wall. Have a quick look at what happened there. So out of the hairpin, going through this corner, takes the curb. Oh, but it's a lot of curb. He has a little bit of oversteer, corrects it, keeps it out of the wall. So crucial. You see a Mercedes driver trying to get past, does it cleanly. Is so unfortunate of him. And let's hope for a decent recovery there. Who was that again? I immediately forgot. I have the memory of a goldfish. I think he may have left. I think we have 2 people that left. We have only 18 drivers still on track, and I believe one of them is indeed Fraser, who was murdered by penalties. A bit unfortunate, but that's how racing is sometimes. It can be brutal. But we continue. Norbert Tamas is still chasing down Diego, but he's also chased down by Charlie, who's chased down by Vojta. Ooh, and Diego again. Maybe not the line he wants to take, because Norbert has a look around the outside again. This time a little bit further back, and Diego does cover it off. Maybe the inside then. Ooh, Diego leaves the space. That actually gives Norbert maybe everything he needs. There's a little bit of a wheel banging, door-to-door banging. I don't know, the banging. We got Charlie coming in as Diego has a bit of a trash line through there. Charlie on the outside. He's overtaken Norbert successfully. But Diego defends the position. I'm not sure how it was before. I think just Charlie and Norbert did swap positions there. Charlie taking advantage of a little bit of door banging between Diego and Norbert. Moving himself up to 5th place. Very nice job. Was followed behind Vojta. We do have Ibana Banana, who was a bit back, but because of the battling, is right in the pack again. Tailing Vojta, will want to fight for that lead of Silver class. Looks on the inside, maybe for this corner. No, not gonna happen. Bit too difficult to make it happen there. It's a tight corner. Not much of a braking zone. A bit of a braking zone, so it's possible, but it's hard. I'm not sure what happened, Miss Christ. I think Fraser had penalties. A lot of them. Was maybe discouraged by that. If somebody else maybe spun out, wasn't happy with the car, and simply left. I don't think we have any hardware issues. I hope not. So, yeah, just a couple of unfortunate races. Thomas still very, very close behind Charlie. We'll want that position back, but of course the race is long, and the only position that matters is the position you're in at the end of the race. And we're not there yet. Well, Andre Katz, don't know what happened with him, but there you go. He has a drive-through penalty. And yeah, that's just gonna be a bit devastating for him. He's out of range of most of the pro drivers, but in the position he is in currently, he could, theoretically, maybe a bit of strategy. There is still the number 1, the orange number 1 on the left. Well, the number 1 with the orange background, the number 1 itself is white. That does mean that everybody needs to make a stop. Everybody with that 1 needs to still make a stop, and they need to change tires in that. Could be a moment for strategy for most people, but that's taken away from Andre. He needs to do a drive-through and lose a lot of time Gonna emerge, I think, behind Weber or Brown. That'll be a devastating loss for him for sure, as Norbert looks around the outside of Charlie, but Charlie bends the inside. Not enough space there for Norbert to make a move, but he is positioning himself very nicely, maybe for a good exit here, maybe at the end. Ooh, but he has a bit of a slide. That is so detrimental, and I don't think we'll see him make a move. We definitely won't if we look at this battle, because I believe it's slightly closer. I say that Norbert is closing in a little bit, but as you can see, it's not nearly enough. I think that slide was enough to confirm his contention, well, to not be viable. We have Yannick Breda here, fighting where he shouldn't be, but Dek Bowler facing some pressure from the AM driver, who's really showing himself to be worth more than what he qualified for. Sometimes a bit mistake prone, and hopefully we won't see that from him today, but battling Dek and doing a good job of it in that Porsche. Oh, he takes a lot of curb there. You see how that destabilizes the car. Keeps it under control though. No spins, no hits with the wall, no damage. Just able to continue this fight with Dek. He's got the pace to make a move later. Yannick, or Elo as we sometimes call him in the BSKIT, well, I want to say universe, it's a Discord channel. Don't want to oversell it too much, but he it does need to be known that Sammy Cow is very, very close to Yannick, able to challenge him as much as the other way as Yannick is on deck. Norbert Tamas, though, having a very close look to Charlie's diffuser. I don't think that's an inspection. I think it wants to get past. And Norbert will be looking for a good exit here again. Last time around, he had a bit of a slide. I think it does again, but it's not as bad. Although Voita has a much better exit. Voita actually threatening here to take P6. Looks on the inside. Is it going to be possible? Decides against it. Got a bit of a gap to Ibana Banana. While that is nice, those gaps can close very rapidly, especially when you're in a train. So having a car between you and the guy you're trying to keep behind would be very, very good for Voita. Ooh, but Diego makes a mistake. Charlie immediately closes up. Oh, and Norbert makes a mistake. That is a big one. Oh, lost the car for a little bit. Went over the grass, loses all of his speed. And as a result, there you go. Voita Pavlicek. P6. As a car between him and the next driver in silver class will be a very, very happy camper. And, yeah. Good stuff for him. Voita has lost a little bit of time there, making that move stick, and of course it's just the gap between Charlie and Norbert, plus Norbert and Voita earlier, which was going to be bigger than a second. So there's a little bit of time to make up before he hits Charlie and Diego, but I'm not sure that will be his goal. His goal will likely be to keep the drivers behind him. Hopefully they get some advantage in the pit stop phase. We'll have to see. He is catching a little bit because right ahead we do see Charlie having a good look at that rear diffuser of Diego again, trying to pass. Has maybe a better run halfway through here, but a little bit of a slide, maybe overdid a little bit. But Diego didn't look particularly fast. He has to try to break slipstream. Charlie flashing. I'm not sure what that means, but it probably means nerd, given that it's Charlie. Trying to keep up with it at this point. Anbekat serving his drive-through, and I think Norbert is going for an early stop. Of course, may have hit the wall. I think he hit the wall at least once earlier in the race. Probably going to repair that damage and just go to the end. The car will be able to do that. So it's a sensible idea. Andre drives out of the pits. He has dropped back to 14th place. So isn't behind Dan. Roughly where I predicted, but that is where he is. Driver number 88, and that will be Matteo Schmidt, also going to serve his mandatory stop. Ooh, Charlie taking a lot of curb there. That's a bit risky. The Audi isn't very stable over curbs. It doesn't do elevation changes very well. Even the rapid ones. It's not good over crests either. So maybe a bit risky, but maybe he's got this car set up for that. Maybe it works well. So yeah, as long as his car is still on the track in one piece and going fast, can't be unhappy with that. Looking on the inside, oh, but Diego has a very cautious line through there, it seems. A very safe line. But it does block Charlie from making a move. It doesn't look particularly quick. Maybe Charlie has to try something else. Maybe take a wider line through there. But have to see what he tries potentially with emerging in last. But he has served his stop. And Norbert and him are the only two that have stopped so far. They can make it to the end of the race, so there is no problem. Just gotta hope that no rain will be coming. It's not much wind. 3 kph is not the most amount of wind I've ever seen. More likely won't see too many changes in the weather. It's still cloudy. But it's not far away, theoretically, from a bit of rain. I don't think we'll see it though. I think this will be a straight up fight. And in the pistol battles as well, I think we'll have a straight up fight. Keep an eye on these. Charlie does appear to be Charlie and Diego does appear to be closest battle all around. We do see the default Hungary thing where there's massive gaps showing up everywhere. Apparently, the DT for Katz is apparently because he spun out Matteo earlier in the race. So that was a penalty applied by the race director. Not sure if Dan is doing that today. Might be Steve that does it today. I can double check that. And if Voita's hosting the server today, I think we've got Steve on stewarding and of course me in broadcasting. We're doing our best to make this as entertaining and as fair as possible for people. Of course, a little bit of entertainment to be had in any beautiful racing. But it is Hungaroring, so the racing will be few and far between. It is still hard to overtake here. That goes for any car. It's not just the F1 cars being massive or spewing dirty air behind them, especially last year. It's any car that struggles to overtake here, because it is such a tight, twisty track. Like a Mario Kart track without the width. So there will be struggles. Up and down the grid, there's not much to watch. We do see Filip Luzac. He's dropped back quite a lot from the start. He's quite close to Dan, so I think he's making up time. Bana is quite close, but as you can see on the screen, Charlie's the closest of everyone to any other car. So we'll definitely keep our eye on that. We do see Bana on the background, in the background there, with Voita right ahead of him. Nice, colourful livery. The Voita has there. It's so recognizable. It really pops, and I think that's a good thing. Charlie, ooh, maybe he has a better exit this time. A little bit wide to see a little bit of shakiness there. The Mercedes of Diego planted through there. Needs no second, but it just goes so well. Diego having a good exit out of that. There's still a nice battle between these four. I will try to see what else is going on here though. But Filip Luzac is currently close behind Dan, and Andre is following closely. Hang on. Oh no! Oh no! I just saw an up arrow next to everyone. And that means that the leader of the race, Harry Spears, has disconnected. He has disappeared. Aliens have abducted him. I don't know what happened. I think he must have disconnected. What happened with Harry Spears? I'm gonna try to find that out for everyone. Oh, that is devastating. Have a look at the room where that would be noted. Hopefully. Oh no! Trubo, Harry's game has crashed. Apparently, it was the first time ever that it happened, and it happened in the most important race of his career. The Hungaroring race, of course, very important to win for his championship chances. But as that has happened, and we do feel for Harry, not what you want. It will be very disappointing. Charlie does have a look, trying to overtake Diego, but Diego parries the first attack. But there is going to be a follow-up. Charlie closer than he has been. You are not alone, the car says, and he's now very clearly able to read. There's some Japanese in there as well, and some Greek. Looking around the outside. Is it going to be enough for a move? Ooh, but Diego has the position and defends it very nicely. Charlie is just flashing his lights by default. I don't think it means anything. I just think he likes pressing that button. He is so close. He can barely. He can basically taste the diffuser. These cars are following so closely. It's so impressive that they're doing that. Normally, like if you just try to follow someone this closely on the highway, it's asking for an accident. I do not recommend it. Of course, these guys are going quite as fast as your car will ever go. It's so impressive that they are able to keep the cars this close together. And yeah, still a battle going on there, but it's not finished yet. You see, Andre Katz has indeed overtaken Philip Decides as we were expecting, but he still needs to make a stop. So it's like normally you would want to. Oh, Ivana Banana has a 10-second time penalty. Will be applied by the steward. It'll be Steve. He has looked at an incident involving Hibana and deemed him to be at fault. 10-second time penalty for Hibana. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can maybe find it. It's a 959. Involved in many incidents. It would be here, but this might just be a minor contact. I'm not sure if anything happened. Accidentally pressed that actually. I wasn't planning on it, but there we go. He's got a time penalty. We don't quite know for what, but that's the way it is. Andre Katz very, very close behind Dan. If we have a look on the bonnet, it's a very clean car that is driving in. I'm not sure if I have the full livery, but it appears to be very, very clean. Andre has a very fun car, let's say. Look at the custom livery that Dan does have. Let's have a close look, but I don't know how. But, yeah, well, oh, there we go. I'm not sure if that is a fully custom livery. Might simply not have it. It does look very clean. Happy to see it. Ooh, not sure what that was. The little effect on the left of the car, Dan. But it appeared, disappeared. We don't question it. We're still very close, but not able to overtake for a little while. Now, you see Norbert Tamas making his way through the field after having stopped Niels Janssen being the first victim. Bit of a rotten race for Niels. I think he's had a bit of bad luck at the start. Now 20 seconds ahead, behind everyone else. Not what you want to see. See that Nipam is asking where Rain is. Good question. Anyway, Dan Brown now being overtaken by Andre. Let's see if he can counter attack. I don't think it's gonna be possible for him. See on the helicam. Oh, but he does, though. He has a look on the inside, though. Ooh, there's no contact, but it's very, very close. And Andre does have a slightly better exit. I think it's going to be done for this little battle. And yes, it does appear that it is done, but it's not quite done for Dan. Because Philip is right there. He wants that position. Race has cooled down. I do agree with Nipham that some rain would be brilliant. Pick up the race a little bit. Make chaos happen. You see on the map, there's like a group of 2 car stops, and they're spread out very far away from each other. Is the regular Hungary procession. But we do still see some battles. They are mostly duels, though. One-on-one. Vast majority of them. I say vast majority, there's two. There's 2 going on. And there's a 3-way battle between Andre, Dan, and Philip. We are expecting Andre to run away there. So we'll be between Dan and Philip after that. I believe Harry had a look at his logs and found the error. Apparently it's something with the viewports being broken. Oh, but we do have Charlie. Oh, I mean, if you want to have a good look at the back of Diego's car, here it is. Charlie being very, very close to Diego, and unfortunately, as it is with Hungary, it's so difficult to make a move around here. Diego hasn't really made a mistake for quite a long time. Appearing slow in certain places, but if it's not slow enough to let the guy behind you overtake, you're completely fine. That's a lot of curb, Charlie. Maybe a bit too much. Slows him down too much to be able to make a move here, of course. You don't need to be slowed down not to be able to make a move here. It's difficult as it is. He does go wide, though. Invalidates his lap time. It's not going to count for faster lap time, but it's not like that matters too much anyway. Oh, and we see, hello, there's a bit of a collision. Dan and Philip have come together. Let's see what happens between them. So, Philip close behind Dan. Ooh, Dan makes a bit of a mistake. Too much curb, slows him down a lot. Philip around the outside there for the next corner. Dan defends the inside. There it goes, but everything is fine for now. Ooh, but I'm not sure what happened there. I think Philip maybe misjudged that a little bit and spun Dan out as a result. I think he understands that. Just knocks Dan the right way, and on they go. On their merry little way. Might be expecting a penalty to Philip for that, maybe 5 seconds, because he didn't fully take advantage of that. Well, again, still so close to Diego, but Vojta is a winner in a second as well. Not anymore. Ibana is, well, like a second behind. It's still a full way of a full people pack here. Norbert Tamas was in it earlier, but I think he had to repair damage. Might have been a little bit much. But he is currently P14. He has stopped already. Stopping early is not entirely desirable. They have issues with the weight of the car. Yannick Breda has also picked up a time penalty, 10 seconds. Not sure for what, but 10 seconds has been applied. Nothing they can do about it now. Gotta continue. Still a lot of stops to be made. Only 3 people have stopped so far out of 16. That makes 13 people that haven't stopped yet. So if you add up all the numbers next to the numbers, they will add up to 13. Well, again, still looking at Diego's rear, but it's starting to become a bit of a deja vu for him, for sure. It's always kind of the same, not quite having the exit Diego, trying to break the slipstream. In the end, they go through this corner entirely normal. Have we? I think, yeah, we have lost. Have we lost Dan? I think we've lost Dan. No, Dan! Oh, we've lost Dan. It's unfortunate, but we have lost Dan. I can confirm. Man down. The man is Dan. Dan down. Oh, I should say that next time that Dan disconnects from a race. It's Dan down, and people will hopefully understand. Robert Weber also having a bit of a battle here. Sammy Cowell close ahead of him. Sammy is not in the same class. Robert is a pro class driver. I think Sammy decided not to fight it as a result. And there you go, Robert Weber. P7 it is for him. All pit stops. I would normally be expecting Norbert to re-overtake them after stops are done. But we don't quite know how the traffic worked out for him. Looking still very close. I do want to give a bit of a moment to the leader of the race. Pavel Dominiak has been leading this race for, well, ever since Fruo's game broke. Viewport had a crash or something it didn't intend to see and decided to kill the game. Georgis is behind, not too far. This is in striking range after a pit stop and maybe a couple of faster laps. So, it's not entirely over for the lead. 4 seconds. Not that big. Diego, though, is having to deal with a very annoying Charlie behind him. And 13 seconds back from those two. Then we do see the expected 10-second time penalty for Philip. It's for that incident with Dan. Maybe that gave Dan too much damage as well. Hasn't left the game ever since. That's how Dan went down. So, has got his 10-second time penalty and will have to serve it in his next stop, which will be the only stop that he will make if fortune serves him. Generally clean racing with BSKIT, but of course even the best drivers make mistakes. So easily done in racing, and easy to commit to something that will not work out. But Charlie is keeping it very cool. He stayed behind Diego for a very, very long time. Not being able to overtake quite yet. It must be at least a little bit frustrating for him. For sure. But he keeps it cool. No crazy moves, no dive bombs, no Hail Marys. No proper yeets. Just keeps it calm, keeps it collected. Waits for Diego to make a mistake, because there's still 52 minutes to go. That's a long time. It's enough time for Diego to make at least 2 mistakes. So, yeah, Charlie just has to stay patient, of course. He, of course, is still a human. And he might make mistakes himself. It's just important not to do that. A lot of time to go, though. With that amount of time, quickly, let's slow it down a little bit, right? Back of the pack, we have Matteo. Matteo apparently had a bit of a spin induced by another driver. Currently in last place, but he has served his stop. There are opportunities for him later down the line. Yannick Breda, 10-second time penalty for an incident earlier, but doing decently well otherwise. For Am driver, he is likely to retain the lead after stops. He did have that lead earlier. But we'll see. See where everything ends up. How things will shake out after stops. New Johnson had a bit of a rotten race so far. I think he has a little bit of damage on the front as well. As a result, P14 and kind of last, if you discount stops. Johannes Kouwen, the other Am driver other than Niels and Yannick, really doing decently well for himself. P13 in the Lamborghini. Norbert Tamas, the leader of everyone that has stopped so far. So very important to keep an eye out for him, for where he is when the drivers do box, and maybe, just maybe, he will be close enough to Diego, to Charlie, where he was earlier. Maybe gets back into the fight. Philip had an issue with Dan earlier, but otherwise driving decently well. I believe he is maybe not quite on pace with Andre, who has just passed Dick. Let's have a quick look at how that went down. I think this is very much a simple case of Deck seeing Andre approach, deciding not to bother, and letting him go. I might not like that because it's not racing, it's not entertainment, there's no blood here. But it's the smart thing to do for Deck. It's most likely to get him the points that he wants in the championship, in the silver championship, of course. With Andre not being in silver class, the position of Andre, whether it's ahead of him or behind him or between him and other cars. As Sammy, Sammy makes a mistake. That doesn't look like a mistake. What happened? What happened with Sammy? Quickly go back. Goes through here. Simply slams the brakes. What happens? What happened? Sammy Cow stood still on the track for no clear discernible reason. Is he going again? He is going again. It looks to me like a hardware error, but he was able to fix it. Did he have to do a P-brake? I don't know what happened there, but Sammy Cow standing still for a brief moment and deciding to move on. Oh, apparently, thanks to Bogdan, he is relaying the information that his game briefly froze. But he is back on track. He decided, I think when your game freezes, you still have control of the car. That's how it is in Automobilista 2 anyway. I think you still have control of the car, you just can't see what's happening to it. So I think the safest thing, is the most predictable thing to do, is just to stand still or move slowly in a single direction. Keep your wheels straight. Something that there, I think, ultimately is the right thing to do. It's possible that Bogdan actually saw the stream problem to go forward a little bit as the game was still frozen. And when the game unfroze, Sammy was able to continue on his merry way. And we are happy to see that. Lost a little bit of time there. I think even a position to Deck. But rather have that than losing your car into the barrier and not being able to score points at all today. So, yeah, happy to see him going again. But unfortunate for the loss. And there we see the first declaration of strategy shenanigans. Diego goes into the pits, freeing up Charlie to do the pace that he can do. And can he do the pace that he needs to overtake Diego? I think the last lap for Diego was 1:46, and already Charlie's on a 1:45.8 last lap. He might be faster than Diego, and if he does a couple of laps like that, maybe we'll see. Deck also has a drive-through for track limits, most likely. It will likely see Charlie close that virtual gap with Diego, maybe overtaking him, and maybe the roles will be reversed. Will Charlie have the podium after stops? That's the big question. Deck going to serve his drive-through. I'm not sure. I think that's a very inopportune time. I think he probably wants to stop this lap, but unfortunately for him, no stops. He keep drive. You see some more people in the pits. Diego's in the pits. Ibanez in the pits. Deck, well, as we noted earlier, in the pits, but not to stop. It's simply visiting You can see he is out of the pits, his drive-through has to split, and his number 1 is still there. Drive-throughs, of course, do not count. That will be overpowered. Just do a drive-through and yeah, I'm cured. But no, tire change is mandatory anyway. Diego is already back out of the pits. Merges behind Philip. See if he has a gap ahead of him. He does have a decent gap ahead of him. It appears. It's behind Norbert, by the way. It's behind Norbert. Oh, that is juicy. Norbert Tamas apparently jumped Diego by 9 seconds. Norbert Tamas has made up 9 seconds through pit stops alone. Early stop worked out wonders for him. And currently, I think virtually in P3. Charlie was close behind Diego. Will not have been able to drive away 9 seconds. He's not going to be able to make up 9 seconds, right? Not in that time. And Norbert's showing some very, very strong pace, it appears. It does appear that way. His fastest lap, I think, is significantly faster than Charlie. Then Norbert's showing what he's worth. Not the position where he wants to be. He's actually showing that let me put this way. He has the fastest lap of the race overall. Norbert absolutely pushing after he stopped. And as a result, he's on for challenging Jorgis. Perhaps. Going to be difficult. We'll have to see after stops. But he's doing a great job. Andre Katza also in the pits will have to serve his time penalty. Niels Janssen yellow flag, but he was going slowly out of the pits, I think, letting people by. He is not battling with any of them, so it makes sense and it's the right thing to do. The last place, but still driving, and that is what matters in the end. We've got Andre Katz still in the pits. He's coming out right now. I think he's being lapped by a couple of people. There was Jorgis just passing by, and the 66 car is next to go past him. That will be Yannick, and that is full position. Yannick does have a 10-second time penalty, however. But none of that really matters anyway. He is last in class. Philip hasn't stopped yet and also has a 10-second time penalty. Those penalties are, of course, served with the stop, if not separate. For Yannick, it will be simply added to his finishing time. Johannes Kauno made a bit of a mistake. Let's have a quick look at that. You see the driver behind Johannes making a mistake. I believe that was Hibana. But here he just goes very wide. Oh, but I think, is that a hardware failure? No, he's still driving, but something went wrong there. I don't know, he was slowing down. Going wide is fine, but he should be able to keep on the throttle a little bit more. I feel like there was something wrong there. Regardless, he's still driving. That's the most important thing. Has lost a position to Hibana, however. He might have just let Hibana by, actually, on a closer inspection. He is in a different class, and also he hasn't stopped yet. Hibana has. It could just be that. And, yeah, that's completely fine and understandable. Apple Dominiac hasn't stopped yet, but he's currently in the lead of the race. Followed by Joris, who's currently only 2.4 seconds behind. And he's closing in a little bit every lap. But that is possibly going to be interesting after stops or at the end of the race. Or between now and the end of the race, just any time. Just give us a battle. I'm waiting. Got Deck here in P9. Driving alone here, but it's always worth noting because there's nothing else to see. Also worth noting, well, he's currently hasn't stopped yet. P9 is a bit provisional. Ibana is in a good position to overtake after his stop, so it's likely no way he's gonna stay, unfortunately for him. I'm not sure if he's happy driving here at all because he doesn't like Hungaroring at all. But he does organise the championship. He did put it on the calendar, or made it an option for people to vote for. was very unhappy with people did vote for it. But he did put it on there, and now he's driving it. And I feel like he had a hand in it himself. But he does organize things, and we're very happy that he does. Without him, this would not be possible. He decides coming into the pit, serving his mandatory stop and 10-second time penalty. As we see Deck pass him. Now Deck also makes up a position, however Deck also needs to stop. But Deck does not have a 10-second time penalty. It's important. I think that makes the difference. We'll see later if that is actually the case. A little bit of a battle here. This would be for position in AM class. However, Yannick's got a time penalty and Johannes hasn't stopped yet. So this is about a virtual. As virtual gets in the end, Yannick will be ahead anyway because you lose more than 10 seconds in a pit stop. You lose more than 10 seconds just by the tire swap alone. We do see Yannick making a move anyway. And there you go. Also, we have Andre Katz. Oh, my voice completely left me there. Andre Katz close behind Johannes. Also will be looking to overtake. Sure, he doesn't like being held up too much here. There you go. Very, very nice move. I'm not sure if that's entirely if that's forcing it or just being led by. But it's aesthetically pleasing. It will take anything. It's Hungaroring. Yeah, just give us any cars being close to each other and we're happy. Quick Norbert check. He is currently 1 minute 22 behind the leaders. The time in the pit's about 1:13. Delta would be like 10 seconds? A bit more. Like a minute, I think. Will emerge, I think. Maybe around Charlie, actually. Charlie has been putting in... Well, not as... The laps are not as good as Norbert. Norbert does have some pace over him, so I think Norbert will emerge ahead. Might be doing something wrong with the math there, but we'll see where he will be after Pavel and Joris and Charlie will make their stops. Be exciting. Johanna Banana and Yannick Breda close to each other. They improve their personal best lap times. They are trying to push the car a little bit. Done quite well for them for now. Yannick, of course, being in the lead of his class, and that likely will not change. Yeah, Niels, of course, having a rotten race, and Johannes behind, still having to stop. Yannick overall showing decent pace this season, has to be said. Small virtual battle here. We have Deck facing some pressure from behind from Diego. Really virtual. Deck still has to stop and also is in a different class, so don't think he'll fight it too much. Hello. Hello, Disaster Line. This is Charlie. Charlie's got a bloody drive-through. Do see, I believe. Ooh, hang on. Let me go back. Diego trying to move on Deck, but Deck not letting him by yet. And he's now letting him by. There you go. That's very clear. Waving him through. And yeah, Diego moves up to P8 with that. But back to Charlie. Charlie's got a drive-through. Charlie has likely gotten the drive-through for track limits. I'm not sure how easy it is to get track limits on this track. Just never driven it, really. Never done a race in it. But, is that a lie? I think that's not a lie. I think I've never done a race in Hungaroring. Especially not an ACC, so... Don't know how easy it is to get track limits, but judging by the fact that Charlie has a drive-through and other people had drive-throughs earlier, I think it's pretty easy. But very possible to get. Go wide a couple of places maybe, but yeah. Far through it was. Can I break that in the chase, chasing Andre Katz? Keeping up with him, crucially. Andre is on very good pace. 144.7 last lap against the 146.3 that Yannick has been showing, or has shown last lap. Andre, I think, recently overtook Yannick. And we do have some further pit stops. Sammy Cowell in the pits, as well as Robert Weber. And the number 95 car of Declan Bowler has also joined the pit stop, boys. Pit stop party people. Leave. Robert Weber is already on the move again. And serve the stop successfully. No penalties after that. And continue on his merry way. P6. Now that... What? Excuse me? Diego, what happened? Wait, no, it's not P6. Never mind, the tower is completely wrong. Robertson P8. I was very surprised. I was like, he overtook Diego. That's impressive. That's really impressive. Diego was apparently really slow. But, turns out, no. ACC is broken. He is ahead of Andre, though, and that is an important one. Now, a bit of a... Yeah, okay, I think Andre is now currently P9. By virtue of... Yeah, there you go. Deck and Sammy having stopped. And Matteo is currently behind Sammy. And Deck is a little bit further behind at P14. So eyes off those, really, because the top four are the only people that haven't stopped yet. Carly would have had a very good shot as Kibana also picks up a drive penalty that Charlie recently served. That put him out of contention for this race. Unfortunate. It is truly unfortunate. Ivana Milana does serve drive-through penalty immediately. Doesn't need to stop anymore, so doesn't need to think about that too much. But you do gotta serve your penalty, otherwise I believe it's a disqualification. So disqualification, by the way, not optimal for lap time. Tends to slow it down a lot. See Diego trying to put in the laps. 145.1 last lap, personal best. Is it fast enough to catch up with Norbert? It very well might be. Norbert had a 145.6, of course, at times being a little bit older. I say a little bit, a lot older. I think about 30 minutes older, in fact. So maybe not the happiest tires in the world, but Diego setting the time regardless. Try and catch up to Norbert. The gap is 11 seconds, though. That's a big gap. Gonna make that, Diego? Not sure. It'll be difficult. And I believe we've lost another driver. I think it's a silver class driver. Who would it be? We've lost Hibana. Hibana Banana has left the race. What happened? What happened? What happened? Not sure what happened, but we don't have Hibana anymore, and I am deeply sad. Yes, Hibana has unfortunately left the race, and that does leave Wojtek Pawlicek in P3. Kind of alone. Of course, after stops will drop back a little bit, but not enough for Sammy Cowell to overtake. Unfortunate. Not really a battle going on in Silverdown, and Am seems wrapped up as all hell. Not much there to fight for, but pro class. The August painted time currently 1.5 seconds behind Pavel, and there is the target. Pavel the Maniac currently in the sights of the Porsche behind. Oh, Pavel, of course, being Mr. Porsche. He won't be too unhappy about that. Like, it's kind of like, you know, don't overtake me, but I'm very proud. Oh, as we see a bit of smoke. Somebody going straight. It's a fancy car, number 12 car of Johannes Kauner. Makes a mistake and demotes him to last place. Is Janssen able to make an overtake there? See what happened there. Let's have a quick look at what happened there. Helicam, who already was struggling apparently. Oh, what's happening? Has there been a crash? Johannes may have had a crash. He was next to the track the whole time. Maybe the car isn't functioning anymore the way he wants it to, and it turned it into an off-road car. He's doing a rally now in a Lamborghini. I think it might be the end of a race. I think he will. He reset to pits. Maybe there was damage he needed to repair. Very important for him. Niels will surely take the position as he does right now. And that is the last place for Johannes. Just unfortunate. Nothing else. Andre Katz in PA as it stands. Not where you want to be, but good news. Robert Weber is in view. Robert Weber's got ahead of him within a second of Andre, and that means prey. Able to be preyed upon. And yeah, maybe that's an opportunity for Andre to gain another position. Will also be in class. Instead of P7 in class, there will be P6 in class. This Avoita, of course, is not in the class. As we see, something important happened there. Charlie Kent goes into the pits, serving his mandatory stop. And now we'll see where he ends up. Goes the drive-through, kind of ruining all the time he had made up to that point. And possibly, quite probably, a lot more. So we'll see. Charlie Kent stopping, and let's see where he comes out. Quick look around. If there's any updates on what happened to Johannes. I think he hit a wall probably somewhere. We'll have a look in a moment. See where that happened. Now we are enjoying Andre Katz trying to overtake Robert Weber. He's found a place. Exit of the hairpin. Had a beautiful one. Robert Weber leave the space open. Andre just had a brilliant run there. And there we go. Andre moves up to P6 in class, P7 overall. And the two leaders of the race are in the pits. Andre unlapping himself is what we're seeing here. And I believe Pavel stops earlier in the box. And Joris, well, temporarily standing still in the lead. Congratulations. But I assume Pavel will be moving quicker. Johannes is going again, so I think he decided not to quit. That's to continue on driving. And why would you not? Joris and Pavel are standing still. Leaders in the race. Two of the last three drivers to stop. Pavel gets moving again. How long until Joris moves again? Oh, there he goes. Oh, it is close between these two. That gap has shrunk massively. And now we can see Pavel's diffuser quite clearly. They shrunk, but it's actually still round about 1.5 seconds. So these two will continue racing. And it won't be for a little while. I think they'll really see the battle go down. But for the next 25 minutes, these will be trying to battle each other. Maybe a game of wits more than pure pace. See how that evolves. And we'll keep an eye on it, because there's quite frankly not much else going on. Boyta's in the lead though. Temporarily, silver class driver in the lead, but he will have to stop. It is all virtual. It is all fake. Now, if you are watching this, and well, I'll quickly, very, very quickly, trying to find all of my dashboards. Think about them again. Yes, if you are watching this and you are enjoying the race, do not forget to follow. We do these races, I mean, until the end of the season at least. I think only a couple more races to go, but about once every 2 weeks. So be sure that you have followed us so that you get a well, so that you know when a race is going on, when you can tune in and cheer for your favorite driver. Don't know any of the drivers, just cheer for your favorite car, brand, or livery, or number. Like the number 10, Diego's driving it, you can cheer for Diego. Okay. Don't recommend it. 10 is not that exciting of a number, but you can. What else do you have to look at? This Schmidt is actually relatively close. Sammy Cow. But the driver ahead actually is Vojta, who's leading the race, but it's not for position because Matteo is not second. He didn't quite have the race that he wanted. We've got Matteo on P11 maybe, still of course behind Vojta, but Sammy Cow is 2.7 seconds ahead. A little bit of gap to make up. Possible, for sure. If you look at the fastest lap times, Matteo is has been passed. 144.7 is a very, very solid lap. Sammy only posting at 145.6. Difference is Sammy's actually putting in those times right now. 145.7 last lap and 145.9 for Matteo. Quite a 144 that he is capable of. Now, Charlie Kent has just set a personal best. Of course, after the stops, after drive-through, after disaster. Drops all the way back to P6, 13 seconds gap to the next driver, Diego, who he was set to overtake otherwise. Fortunate the way it happened, but, you know, it's happened, so what you gonna do about it? Diego comfortably in 5th for now then. 11 seconds behind the next driver, Norbert Tamas, who is still a decent way away from Joris and Pavel. 13 seconds between him and them. Interesting to see where Vojta will emerge. Vojta doing an excellent job today. He is in the leader race. Technically, yes. He still has to stop. Granted, true. But very far ahead from his direct competition. Mikael in P10 and Vojta in P1. Doesn't matter if there's a pit stop between, because the next driver behind Vojta is already 30 seconds behind. Got a couple of 10 seconds gaps between him and Sammy. So definitely pit stop ahead. A little bit more than that. Definitely the praise is warranted, and therefore he has received it. Look at that, like up and down the track. It appears to be quite boring. Have a quick look at if you see any contact. How much newly reported contact that would be interesting to look at. There's a graphical glitch there where there's some explosions on that exit curb, but as long as the tires don't explode, it should be alright. Visual glitches are only funny, and they thankfully do not impact the experience. That's for the drivers as well. Look at this beautiful Porsche. This beautiful Plath Motorsports livery on it. Really one of the nice looking cars on the grid. An incredible... Ooh, as we do see someone. Sure, I saw someone going straight there, but it might have been an illusion of my eyes. Seeing something that isn't there. It's on a track map. It doesn't look like that happened. Yeah, regardless, Jorgen's doing an excellent job. In P2, effectively. Pointer will drop behind him after stops. Not far from Pavel. Battle going on. Sammy Cal, this is not a drill. Battling Yannick. I mean, he's already got the position because of the 10 seconds. But we've got battle. We've got a battle. Time to be excited. Let's have a very close look at that battle then. Looks around. Looks at the inside for the next corner. But there's nothing there. It's a very difficult corner to overtake the best of days. So, not happening this time around either. Yeah, and keeping that position quite, well, I would say comfortably, but here we go. Poor straight line speed. Dying. Not as bad for the newest updates, but still quite bad. Sammy looking on the inside. That's a late view on the brakes, but maybe a bit too late. This allows Yannick to go for a switchback. Has a better exit. I hope for Yannick that the run isn't too long, and it isn't. Into this second corner then, around the outside. Can Yannick hold on to it? Doesn't quite have the line he needs to. And Sammy Cal makes the move stick and moves up to P9 overall. Excuse me, I have a bit of a bit of pain in the throat, so it's aching a little bit. Not even because I said too much during the race, because it's a bit processional after a little while, as Hungary tends to be. Regardless, been a couple of good battles. Special shout out to Robert Weber. Apparently moved up 8 positions, started on the grid as P16, but got through a decently paced pit stop, and just doing an overall excellent job in that Mercedes, no mistakes. P8, very nice job from him. A very quiet race for him, but he's doing a good job. Doing the things he needs to do. Maybe doesn't quite get rewarded with points. I mean, he does get to beat Philip. Doesn't quite get rewarded with more points though, but regardless, pretty good to move up so far. Most people have gained positions though, of course, after Harry did disconnect. Joris has lost a position, as has Norbert. Those are practically two of the only ones. Philip also had a bit of a tragic race. He gets a penalty at some point. It's unfortunately only in P12. Not where he wants to be, for sure. A quick look at the virtual leader of our race. Voita, of course, currently well, I mean, This is the actual leader of the race, right? Boita currently the first person to finish every lap, but not quite the leader of the race per se. That only goes to Pavel, who's doing a brilliant job. Not able to run away from Joris, but everybody else is properly left in the dust. It inherited from Harry's PC or game having a proper crash. Sometimes all those things happen in motorsports. Engines blow up, tires blow out. Like some things happen that are not in your control. And in sim racing, we have hardware failures, or software failures in this case. I'm making a bit of a half move on deck, I believe that is. Deck is does not have a position. Deck doesn't defend it. Deck just lets it by. No point. Okay, Yannick is close to Sammy still. Sammy did overtake him earlier. Apparently, this battle is not quite over, so I have a quick look at it. Don't think it's much, because Sammy should have the pace. But apparently they're quite close to each other, so maybe that's not entirely true. We'll have to see. And Philip Drezage has put on misery upon misery for himself. Drive-through penalty for him. Philip goes to serve immediately. That makes a lot of sense. Now Wojtek has also gone into the pits. I think it might be like the longest he could possibly go in that Honda. We on fresh tires, on low fuel, hot lapping the living. Insert expletive here. Out of those conditions. Voita actually emerging in P4 it appears. Behind him Diego following closely, but following. P4 for Voita, and that is a full, what is it? 5 positions ahead of Sammy. Sammy being in P9, the next silver class driver. Yeah, it's just a very good job on from Voita. But that's still very, very close to Sammy. Sammy not able to run away. Very simply, not driving his pace, putting the car where it needs to be to defend from Yannick. 10 minutes to go, it's very possible that he halts. We'll see. The next 10-second penalty will only put him behind Matteo. Deck is 30 seconds behind, so will not be able to take a position from the penalty. Gap has since grown again, so let's have a quick look at Diego, who will be trying to chase down Vojta. Diego is maybe not even the fastest driver between two of them. Vojta having excellent pace on this track and the Honda. Might be difficult to catch up with him. I have to see what happens. This is truly the time when we as an audience, me as a commentator, begs for somebody to, like, I don't know, put it in a wall. Some rain to come, which is not gonna come. It's already predicted to be dry for the next 30 minutes. The race will be well finished by then anyway. Not much to look at now that Yannick has indeed lost the expected time to Sammy. Sammy now securely in P9. He already was, actually, due to the penalty. But that's nice to be more secure. Feel like to confirm this feeling, but I feel like Charlie Kent is actually closing in on Diego. Voigt has just set its personal fastest lap of 144.362, which is very, very fast. That's like top level fast. It's less than a tenth behind the fastest lap of the race currently, which was set by Norbert Tamas. Oh, by the way, keep in mind, Voigt is like on the best possible conditions. His tires are new and his fuel is low, so he's just gonna hot lap for the last 8 minutes. It's a couple of laps. And, it's secure the fastest lap of the silver class, which I think you can stop now. It's secure. It's fine. it's fine. You don't have to worry about it. Gave himself the opportunity to go on the best tires, or like the best conditioned tires, as late as possible with low fuel, and as a result, proper quick that boy is. We commend him for the performance. Charlie Kent. Donut. Delivering it. He is closing in on Diego. The gap is soon to be less than a second, which means a battle will surely commence. Again, these two close to each other somehow. After Diego kind of holding up Charlie being the faster driver, Charlie getting free space to do whatever he wants. He decided to get a drive-through penalty, which put him behind Diego again instead of ahead, and now he's catching up to him again, and we have the same exact situation as earlier in the race, except now there's 6 minutes to go, which is only a couple of... Oh no! Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that Pavel Dominiak has got a drive-through. Has bottled it, as some would say. Has thrown away a win. Not the first time he does it with a drive-through, but simply just as painful as last time. The car slowly crawls through the pit lane. Take about 30 seconds to get to the end, but it will feel like a proper eternity there. Norbert Tamas will also be able to overtake as there he comes. Pavel still in the pit lane going slowly and demoted to P3, still on the podium, but it's not. It's just not. Please put your F in the chat for Pavel. Idea from Nipam. And we cry about that. And as it is with racing, you cannot let up. You cannot relax. You can't just think that you have it in the bag. Because the bag be leaking. And give it a wheel too many over the curb. Give it a fraction too wide on exit. Or simply a lapse of concentration. And suddenly you are in dire straits, losing several positions in moments that you thought were secure for the next few minutes. And there's nothing you can do to come back from that sometimes. We see a very creative interpretation from of the racing line by Charlie Kent, also trying to go for a drive-through. I'm not sure what the plan was there. But still in P6, but very, very close to Diego, as Pavel also catches up to Norbert Tamas. Will try to reap what he can from a bad situation. With a quick look then at what happens between these two. Now, these are still a little bit too far away, but if somebody pointed out in the ACC General chat that we have in the BSKIT Discord, these two are taking very creative lines. Diego just trying to keep a faster donut behind, hoping that donut makes a mistake. Wait a long time for that. Donut only makes a mistake when he gets a drive-through for it. Otherwise, ooh, Diego, ooh, that's not the line you want to take. Donut looks on the inside. Charlie, unfortunately, not having enough space to make a move. Fortunately for him, that is, of course. I think Diego will be very pleased, and not really an opportunity there. Even no matter how close you are, it's just not an opportunity to overtake there. We've got Diego having a very weird line through that chicane. I think somebody has to look at that. Ooh, there's a contact. Ooh, and Diego has spun as a result. Steve, have a look. Something happened. You can wake up now. Something for you to look at. Bit of a battle there. Diego cut in the corner. Charlie having a hit, or hitting him, and yeah, we'll have a look at that. Now that battle is over, but we still have a battle going on here. This is for P2 in the race. Norbert Tamas has done an excellent job after an early crash. Stopped early, strategy worked out wonders. He finds himself in P3. P2 after the drive-through of Pavel, but Pavel wants it back. But very good defense from Norbert. Not quite enough for Pavel to take it back. But we'll have the inside for the next corner, assuming he is fast enough. But Norbert able to defend it just about. Pavel does have a better line though, and Norbert caught napping there. And there you go, Pavel takes P2 in the race. Norbert taking the wrong line through the second hairpin. And Pavel needs no second invitation. P2 it is for him. It's not where he wants to be. He will be very, very angry with that P2. But regardless, it's always better than P3, no matter how frustrating your position is. Wojtek Pavlicek very, very close behind Norbert. Now, this is not necessarily for points in the championship. These are not in the same class, so it does not matter per se. It does matter for the Manufacturers Championship, by the way. If Wojtek wants to do a good word for the Honda car, it's a good reason to stop as Jorgis past the final lap. A bit of an interesting race for him for sure. He had pole position. Now, when you summarize this race as Joris was on pole and he won the race, people get a very wrong idea of how this race went for him. He lost the first position almost immediately. Never ever retook it again until the end of the race when Harry disconnected and Pavel had a drive-through for track limits. But he has always been there with Pavel, keeping up with him, keeping him honest. But maybe causing him to push just a little bit too much, resulting in that drive-through. Johannes Kauner picks up a drive-through penalty in sympathy for Pavel. It literally doesn't matter for position, but regardless, he does have to serve it. And Joris in the last few corners of this track. He is on the north side of the map that you see on the right of your screen. Into probably the heaviest braking zone that he will have until the end. And big up for Demon anyway. Or Lemon. However mild you want it. Philip does make a move on deck, but it's not quite on. We'll have a quick look at that later, as we do see Lemon or Joris cross the line, take the win, and Pavel Dominiak is far behind, very likely going to take P2. So, but has been overtaken by Vojta, and Vojta is trying to chase down Pavel, but more importantly, Deck does beat Philip to the line. Philip has to settle with P13 overall. We'll be happy with that, maybe. I don't know. Vojta has to settle for P3, and Pavel has to settle for P2. It's going to be a win. Unfortunately, got away from him with a drive-through penalty. It's always deserved, unfortunately, as this with track limit penalties. They simply count up the same for everyone, with the same limits, because the game decides them. And unfortunately, just one warning too many. Might be a lapse of concentration, might be a small slide corrected into a wide line that the game deemed to be track extending. Whatever the case, it is sad to see Pavel again losing a win to it. But at the cost of that, we do have Joris taking the win home. We'll be happy with that. He will be. And yeah, that is basically all she wrote for the race. Fastest lap of the race, I believe, if we have a quick look, goes to this man, Norbert Tamas. Finished P4, overall P3 in class. Plus fastest lap, 3 points that is in the championship. And satisfied with that, he will hopefully be. That is the end of the race. And I will very quickly, actually, I need to do some administration. And I will add plus. And that will make entering results so much easier. Alright. That was the end of the race. I'm actually gonna sign off early because a bit tired. Not just from the race, but like life. I've had a holiday on the other side of the world. I came back and now I'm virtually a little bit tired. But regardless, it's been an excellent race. Well, I say that. It's one of those races where nothing happens for a long time and suddenly everything goes to all hell. Joris is the winner, the big benefactor in that situation. Vojta Pavlicek, of course, wins in silver class, and Yannick takes the win in AM class. And Ibana, Dan, Harry, Daniel, Nirkas, and Fraser not able to finish the race, unfortunately. These are the results. I hope you enjoyed watching. It's been a bit of a long sit, maybe, for a Hungaroring race. We made it. And it's been a very exciting ending. Thank you so much for watching. Follow us if you haven't already, and if you want to watch more of these races. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you next time when we will be racing at we'll be racing at Bathurst. We will be racing at Bathurst. Ooh, nice on the Australian hillside at Bathurst. Hopefully see you then, and have a very good night.